Tom started racing at the age of 14. He built his first bike at age 15 and started building bikes to sell at age 16. Tom has been producing bikes for his own company, Ritchey Design Incorporated, for 31 years. He was a pioneer in the creation of the mountain bike. He started building mountain bike frames in 1980. Tom was inducted into the Mountain Bike Hall of Fame in 1988, which is the inaugural year of the Mountain Bike Hall of Fame. Tom is presently president and CEO of Ritchey Design. Tom is a creative and innovative visionary in the bicycle industry. He is as creative and innovative when it comes to the supply chain for his company. His famous quote is, "My bike is my office."
The beginnings of the sport are for me very, very personal. I was a 16-year-old kid racing my bike, looking for a way to improve my racing, and I started developing my own products. And so, as a result, it was a good thing to start my company, because I started winning races and I used my own product, and it resulted in people paying attention to the use of the product and wanting to buy the product. So it was a natural consequence of wanting to race and wanting to win. The industry was, until the 80s, was a European-based industry, and in the early 80s it went to Japan, and then it went to Taiwan and China, and there was a very, very fast-paced development and sourcing and complicated, as a consequence, companies that emerged at the end of the 80s. And we all, there was a lot of designers like Ritchey that looked at those opportunities and chose who they were going to deal with. And some aren't here and some are here, but it was really a dynamic time in the industry. Having good people to help me make decisions has always been a big part of Ritchey. And so when we would work through basically the next step, there was a lot of consulting back and forth, and going into the 90s was a really huge step for my company. I ended up starting an office in Europe, starting an office in Asia, and having staff in both locations. And looking back, I'm not sure how I would have done it differently, but it was putting my trust not only in my people, but people now in those countries. And as a consequence of doing that, we found that we didn't have all our bases covered, and we didn't see all the things that were there to see, as no one does in this industry. We were only given certain things that we could understand and have visibility in, and the whole supply chain and understanding our vendors and the motivation of our vendors was a very complicated thing. So we got to the point, turning into 2000, that it was very hard for just about any company that had my origins to stay viable at that point. And I was probably the last of the designer-driven companies, small companies, that was still on the scene at that point in time. And it created all kinds of terrible decisions in front of us, and no one, looking back, looks fondly at those years. But it made me realize that after owning this company for, at that point, about 25 years, that I really didn't want to own it any longer if I had to work the way I was working. And the whole, problem solving of sourcing and having visibility into the company for the logistics issues, for the finance issues, for all the sourcing issues, was something I just craved, I needed, I had to have, and we were in this tight financial situation, and the companies that were giving those services were the big boys on the block, the Oracles, the PeopleSoft, the SAPs, and we really couldn't afford them, and it was very, very fortuitous that we were able to run into Box Solutions and David and Renault and present our issues to them, and they catch our issues and say, we can do that, we can help you. And it resulted in us doing something that practically any other company in our situation has ever done, and that is to leave a trading company and to completely own our own destiny. And Box Solutions gave us the tools to do that. We went from Box Solutions gave us visibility, gave us the tools of information that we had never had before, gave us real-time information, gave our customers real-time information, gave our suppliers more information to do projections, to help plan basically the orders that they were executing for us. So it gave the whole supply chain more information, more visibility. We became, over a very short amount of time, profitable. We went from almost hanging on there with our fingernails profitability to seeing the results, the rewards of profitability in a very short amount of time. Our distributors and people that we were doing business, we went from being on probation for being a poor supplier to being considered one of the best suppliers they have. So huge amount of improvement in a very short amount of time. We were, so to speak, the beta, the guinea pigs for Box, and the amount of freedom and visibility and information that we received from the get-go was just a tremendous boost to our confidence as a company, as an owner. I needed this, and I needed it for looking at the future and seeing the opportunities and the goals that I had, and wanted to keep my company and invest more energy into it. Yeah, the risk that we experienced was higher than probably any new customer, because we were really the beginning of Box Solutions customers. The amount of tools that have been developed, the skills, the resources, the warehousing, all the service, the financial instruments, all those tools that have been built since then, and the mistakes that have been made as a result of being the first customer are behind. And we're dealing with a very polished organization with people that are extremely professional, that are very responsive, and are giving us more and more services that meet our needs. We were in the beginning of a relationship with Box, and they were in the beginning of a relationship with us. And as we threw them more and more challenges, as we had this big need base and all this complexity in Ritchey, they just kept responding and responding and responding with incredible energy and commitment to being a service to us. And it changed our company. It transformed our company. We're a new company now. We're a brand new company. It's like we didn't exist the way we were before. We almost were a dinosaur. We would have been a dinosaur if we had kept going the way we had gone. And it's really a fresh feeling to be in this situation. I have more time to focus on product development. My staff has more time to focus on sales. My company has a new energy about it as a result of having all the services with box.